Hello everybody. I hope you are well and welcome to this very first English GM Web3, our new name. And if you did not follow it, of course, you can find the announcement of the rebranding from GMMVX to GM Web3 on my X account. I hope everyone is okay today. And I am with Joachim, Gaopa Labs founder. Hello, Joachim. How are you?
Good morning, Hiram. What an exciting day! The first GM Web 3. I feel like in English. I feel like
Yeah,
today makes it extra special.
it's historical. And this is the first time as well with Maxim, co-founder of Cyborg. We say Cyborg or Cyborg, Maxim?
Well, if we say it in French, it's cyborg, but let's go for cyborg. It's good.
Okay, Cyborg. Can you tell us what is Cyborg for a second?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, thanks. I'm really happy to be here with you. This is the first one, and for sure not the last one. Space with you, so really cool. And basically, cyborg is a Web3 Spotify, but specifically for Twitter Spaces, and we create a whole ecosystem around that with gamification, etc.
Okay, sounds very good. And of course, GM Web3 our previous shows and next shows will all be listed on Cyborg. Welcome to GM Web3 as a columnist. It's your first, not too stressed, Maxim?
No, never.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, so the format remains unchanged. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday live on X, then on replay on podcast platforms, on our YouTube channel, and also on Cyborg, as I was saying. Web3 news, exclusive guests, and exciting columns and debates. Well, let's go for the program of today. Today, Maxim will speak about two different topics about Friendtech airdrop, but also about the last news from EigenLayer. And after, we will receive Entity Finance CEO Wolfgang, who is already with us this morning. But before we start, we need retweet, reposts. So, guys, please put a like, put a comment, and repost this space, so we can bring more people with us, since it will be very enjoyable and very educative spaces. So give us some strength. we we are 9 live, and we only have 4 reposts, so people did not do their job on the audience. 5 now. Joachim, what's up?
Well, nothing special, nothing special. I was doing my stuff, doing some coding, and then I looked at the clock and it was like 6:30 a.m. and I was like, "Oh no, I forgot to sleep."
you you did
So
not sleep?
here I am. No, not yet. So after GMMDX, I'm gonna go for quite a long nap, I think.
Okay, it's 1st of May
G-
today, so it's off. It's holiday in France, and not only in France, I think. So it will not be a very long space. I think we'll finish at like 11:30, 11:40. But I'm really happy to host this GMMVX in English, the first one with our new name. Okay, so we're good. Maxime. So you wanted to tell us about Friendtech airdrop. Can you remind us what is Friendtech, first of all?
Yeah, sure. So basically, Friendtech is kind of the first big social fi application that went live on the market in around I think it was August earlier in 2023. And so basically, with Friendtech, what was interesting is that they are really a speculative platform where basically you can speculate on top of creators. So you have different creators in app that are tokenized, what we called shares or keys, maybe now I think it's keys in Friendtech, and so you can buy shares, so keys of those creators on Friendtech. And what is really interesting here is that basically all those keys are really liquid, meaning that it's not just an NFT that you buy and it's sometimes difficult to sell it because no one wants to buy it. Here you always have some liquidity, so you can buy and sell always. And that's what made the huge success, what we can say, in the first months of Friendtech. And now they're releasing the token, the friend token, that will be live tomorrow. And so this will be a huge thing because many people are waiting for this. Friendtech is backed by Paradigm, which is a huge VC that is also known for doing good airdrop. So that's really where everybody is looking. And this airdrop is coming also with the launch of the V2. And the V2 basically have, let's say, two features that are quite interesting in terms of Web3 perspective. The first one is called Money Club. And Money Club is a way for communities to manage a shared treasury. So that's kind of cool because here we have some real use case of Web3, and this is not just only speculation and stuff like this. Here we have, communities that can share treasuries and manage these. That's awesome for me. And the second thing is that now you can create tradable on-chain collectibles directly in the app, so like NFTs and memecoin. And so we will see how this goes. And here it's more on the speculation side, basically. So yeah, that's it for Friendtech. Have you guys do you have some point on the Friendtech app?
Me personally, no. I followed it. I looked into it, and I know there was like forks that were done across all the other ecosystems. But I kind of liked the idea, the initial idea. I just think it became too speculative too quickly for it to actually get like reach its purpose, because that's the issue. Like, we have this issue in social fi and gamify, etc. That, like, if there's too much finance, we're taking away the fun parts.
Well, tokenizing KOL is, in my opinion, very interesting. So it's like there were like a token GRM would be cool. Would you buy it?
We've already talked about this, GRM. We've already talked about this.
I think we did, but we decided not to go into it. It's so egomaniac. But okay, sounds very good. So this airdrop will be for whom? KOL or for people that interacted with the platform? What are the conditions to be eligible, Maxim?
Well, so basically, since the beginning, you have you have a place on the Friendtech app where it's called airdrop. And since the beginning, depending of your actions, your referral code and stuff like this, you are able to have some points. And this is so everyone that has some points today, we should have a conversions between those points and the airdrop. And by the way, I don't know if you guys know the website named Whales Market, but it's an interesting website for those who are farming airdrop, because you can have let's say you can have liquidity on points. So basically I can buy points with real money. So it can be interesting to see, for example, with Friendtech, but with also other airdrop. If you want to have an idea of what is the value of a point, you can go on Whales Market and see, okay, how much people are ready to pay for those points. So yeah.
Okay, sounds
So
very good.
basically, kind of like a speculation on what the token price post airdrop would be. Didn't we have a bit the same with the Jupiter airdrop, that like there was a token that would be backed basically one by one with the dupe that were being speculated before it actually got listed.
Yep.
Okay, and do you think it would be something interesting on Multiverse 6? Joachim, you know Multiverse 6 more than Maxim for the moment, actually.
Well, as during the French GM MBX, we were still MBX at that time, we had a great talk about with Dan from Calileo, and indirectly, I would say they're kind of doing something similar, just not as like directly correlated with money. And I think that's one thing I've come to realize is that if we look at all those small games, socialify and gamify projects that we've seen, the ones that are always the most popular are the ones that allow to calculate returns like directly. For example, Steppen was a massive success because at the end of your work, you know you had printed X amount of money. And it's a bit the same with Friendtech. Like it's very between like the investment, the return on investment is very quick and very easy to see. That I think is something we haven't seen that much on MVX. So I'm not sure if we are the right blockchain, the right community for it, but it would be interesting to see if someone wants to try it.
Yeah, definitely. Maxim, do you know any other initiative like this on other blockchain, or Friendtech is really the major one? Is there any other things that looks like this?
So yeah, a lot actually. So once Friendtech launched in August, then in September, October, we saw many fork of Friendtech. So I don't have the list in mind, but you have some stuff like Jam. So you have many application, and basically you have the fork of Friendtech on on Arbitrum, the one on Optimism, the one on kind of every chain. So we have a lot of fork really similar to Friendtech, but yeah, not something, yeah, not really different stuff.
Okay.
Like you have friend room, you have the arena, you have many things, friend free. You have a lot of them, but just kind of fork. But the big one is really Friendtech on this on this specific segment.
And on which blockchain are there? Can you remind me?
Yeah, so
I don't know if
Friendtech.
you said it before.
Yeah, Friendtech, no, I didn't mention it. And actually,
Okay.
it's really important because Friendtech is on Base. And actually, that's kind of, for me, one of the first D app that really, let's say, had some really good adoption on Base. So that's one of the first. And now Base, with Forecaster and all the others, now Base is really like growing up, and Friendtech was one of the first going there. So that's quite interesting to note.
Okay, thank you, Maxim. Before moving on the next topic, I'd like to ask you guys to like the spaces, to post a comment, and to repost to attract even more people. Thank you all for your support. Maxim, you wanted to speak about EigenLayer. There are news about it, but first of all, can you remind us what is EigenLayer?
Yeah, so this one is a big one for sure. So basically, EigenLayer, it's what we call a restaking protocol. So first, we need to understand what is staking on Ethereum. So basically, with the Ethereum blockchain and with many other blockchain, what you can do is you have some Ethereum token, then you take those token and you stake those to secure the network. So that's what is staking, and then you are rewarded by doing so. Then on top of staking, we saw the liquid staking coming up with, for example, Lido. So what is interesting with the liquid staking is to say, okay, in general, when I stake my Ethereum, that's good. I have some APY, but the thing is, my Ethereum token are locked. What if I could lock my token on Ethereum, but still have a version of my Ethereum that is still liquid on the market? So it makes sense if, for example, I want to stake Ethereum tokens, make money, make some reward, and then having a similar token that is called ST Ethereum. So this is the stake version of an Ethereum token. Take this and then go and put as a collateral on Aave or other stuff. So it enables me to stake Ethereum token and still benefits of a liquid representation of the Ethereum token on chain to do stuff. So to swap, to have the liquidity. So I can stake, but keep the liquidity with me. So that's what is liquid staking. Now we have EigenLayer with the restaking that is saying, okay, So still, when I have some Ethereum token, how can I have more efficiency on my capital? Meaning having more APY and being able also with the same Ethereum token, not only to securitize the Ethereum blockchain, but also securitize other protocols and layer 2s and other stuff, thanks to the same liquidity. Because what is difficult today on the Web3 space is that the liquidity is fragmented, meaning that you can see that between other different chains, that is difficult. You do not have the same liquidity between Ethereum, between BNB chain, between Avalanche, Multiverix, etc., and that's the same issue with the security. So that's where EigenLayer comes, and basically you can securitize protocols with the same liquidity used to securitize the Ethereum blockchain. So that's what EigenLayer is. So that's really the high level. If you guys want to add any more information, feel free to add. And so that's the first thing. And EigenLayer is backed by A16V. They raised like 100 million, so it's really, really huge. And they just announced their airdrop. So the airdrop, the snapshot was taken the 10th of May, and the token will be launched the 15th of March. So that is coming in 2 weeks approximately. And so it was something quite interesting to see on Twitter, because they took quite a shitstorm, let's say. The community was not really happy because, only 5% of the supply will be given to those stakers for the season 1. Because now airdrops, you have different seasons, season 1, 2, etc. In total, they will release 15% of the supply to those stakers. But for the season 1, it's just 5%. The token will be non-transferable at first, so you cannot sell it. And plus, it was difficult because what we saw is that just after the snapshot that I recall was announced just a few days ago, we saw people went and looking on chain what happened after the snapshot, and we saw many withdraw after the 15th of March, meaning that many insider people with insider information withdraw some tokens just after the snapshot, which is not really good, and that's not really nice from them. So that's what the community was not really happy. But hopefully, if the airdrops come and that people make money, I think it will just pass. But we will see. I don't know if you guys, if have you some points of on EigenLayer? Have you deposit on EigenLayer, etc., or is it something that you're just looking at?
That very very interesting and clear presentation. Thank you very much, Maxime, for this. Of course, guys, you can ask your questions on the comment section, but you can also raise your hand and ask for the mic, and so you can directly ask your questions to us. This is an open Twitter Spaces, so feel free to take the mic and to ask your questions. As for me, Maxime, I'm not a user of EigenLayer and such features. To be honest, I don't have time for this actually. But okay, and you, Maxime, are you a regular user of this or?
So the thing is, we cannot say regular user. I have some Ethereum on EigenLayer. The thing is, you cannot deposit when you want on EigenLayer, because regarding their roadmap, by sometimes open for a week the deposit and then close them. So I think for the moment it's closed. It's currently closed, so you cannot directly deposit on EigenLayer. But what you can do though is deposit on on what we called liquid risk-taking protocol. So it's kind of the same as Lido, but not on top of simple Ethereum, but on top of EigenLayer. So it's the same, having more liquidity, etc., but on top of EigenLayer. So that's quite interesting. And just to mention a few projects, you can have, for example, Swell, you have Kelp DAO, you have Etherfi, some of those. So that's interesting. If you want to farm, for example, you can be exposed to 2 airdrop by only deposit on one protocol. For example, if you deposit on Swell, you will be probably eligible for the Swell airdrop, and then for the EigenLayer next season airdrop. But the thing that is quite a big question here is that many people think that this could be a risk for Ethereum, because So it's good. We add more and more layer of capital efficiency. But the thing is, it's similar as having leverage. And we all know that having leverage is good to make money, but it's also much more easier to lose money, because it's the same as when we do trading. If we get liquidated, we can have kind of more and more liquidation, and that can be an issue. So that's a point here that need to be seen and taken care of, and we will see in the future. Joachim, yeah, I think you wanted to add something.
You're coming very interesting point of view about the systemic risk that we're finding, because to give a bit of comparison, we know that risk taking is kind of like the hot topic recently. We're having it on Multiverse X2 with the fact that now sovereign shards will be secured by risk taking too. And as you say, it creates capital efficiency, and it indirectly makes the token more attractive, because, for example, if we take the example of ETH, if you stake ETH with Lido, what do you get? 2.5, 3%. But if you add it on top with other protocols and like reuse your staked liquid staked ETHs, you can suddenly get even higher APRs. But one of my main concerns with things as restaking is, depending on how it's organized, as you say, there is a systemic risk, but also one of the risks is that those tokens are deposited in a centralized entity. So even if you were to something were to happen, you need that warranty that the actor that is behind it is actually able to repay whatever happens, if it's slashing or if there's a hard fork, etc. There's so many things that, like, in theory should be working fine, but in practicality I feel like we might find out one day. I hope not, obviously, but yeah. I think it's, as you say, like, it creates a bigger exposure and a bigger risk by the fact of wanting to use the same capital over and over again.
Okay. Thank you, guys, for it. It's so, guys, I don't know if in the audience someone is knows this protocol and is using this. What about liquid and risk taking on Multiverse X? Joachim, do you know there are some initiatives in this narrative?
So, from what I've understood after several discussions with Robert Sasu, what would happen is that someone launches a sovereign shard tomorrow, and as you know, you need 1,000 Eagle to run that sovereign shard, and you need at least 20 validators that have at least 100 Eagle staked on them. But the benefit of that is that, let's say, usually I would stake EGLD in a like regular way through one of the validators we have on MVX. Instead of that, I could stake my 100 EGLDs to a validator on a sovereign shard, and indirectly those EGLDs get staked on the layer one, the main chain, and therefore I would still get the APRs as if I was staking normally here through delegation, plus on top whatever reward the sovereign shard is giving. And one of the benefits I see from that is because it's on protocol level and it doesn't use any centralized entity. I feel like this might be the best design for risk-taking. And again, it might be very positive to make EGLD a bit more attractive for investors, because, as we know, obviously now we have staking before, but until now, becoming a validator on MVX was very complicated. So getting a really attractive APR was complicated. Now we can expect maybe attract some new investors and fresh capital through sovereign shards.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. It will be interesting to receive Robert to speak about this maybe next week or the week after. I don't know if he wrote something new about sovereign shards since the last time he came here, But yeah, I think it's the narrative that everybody's talking about at the moment. We spoke yesterday in the French version of GM Web3 about Renzo and the DPEG of Easy ETH. It's totally about risk taking and liquid staking. We spoke about the risks about this, and especially the one when the oracle is linked to the pool. But okay. Thank you very much, Maxime, for this these two topics and this update on Web3 news. We'll now move on to today's interview with Wolfgang from Entity. So, Wolfgang, you can ask for the mic, and I will send you an invitation. Please accept it. Hello, Wolfgang, and welcome to GM Web3. How are you?
GM. Good morning, guys. Thanks
Good
for having
morning,
me.
Wolfgang. My pleasure, my very own pleasure. It's your first time on GM Web3, I think.
It's the first time you host GM Web3.
Oh
Before it was
yeah,
GM MVX.
you're right. But even
Yeah,
on
that's true.
GMMVX, it was you never came. I think. So it's a very big pleasure for us to receive you. We have so many questions for you. But first of all, can you tell us a bit about your background and especially before you joined Web3?
Before I joined Web3, first of all, I'm currently looking for this long thread about sovereign chains. I think Robert Sashu retweeted me on this one. Had lots of help from Edward from my team. He prepared everything on this one, so kudos to him. We'll post it later on, so the
Yeah,
community
okay. Put it on the
will
comment section
find
and
more
we'll pin
details.
it.
And maybe Robert will join you in the next session to explain it even more. Okay, about me. Before Web3, that's a long time for me, 8-9 years actually. And how it all started, I did normal business. Yeah, I was always in business development. I was working for an AI company in Israel. I was working for a huge corporate in the US. So I had quite an interesting journey before, but yeah, one evening I met Lucien Minku and we had a drink together and he told us about blockchain and crypto stuff.
Sorry, where did you meet him? I mean, you were in Israel, you were in Germany, he was in Romania. So how did you met guy?
No, he was back then, he was in Germany
Okay.
because he was working at the same company with my co-founder, Christian.
Okay.
So they were colleagues and we met for a drink in the evening, and that was like 9 years ago. And that's how my crypto and blockchain journey started, actually.
Okay, and in what he said, what convinced you to get interested in blockchain? What was the main topic on which you were
17, it was
interested?
the wild, wild west ICO times. So back
Okay,
then
so
it was simply
speculation.
about investing and
Okay.
trying to find out the most interesting projects or process. And we were researching a lot, finding them, trying to find them. So we had many good opportunities. Lucian's brother Benjamin, he was already very active since several years. So we had the opportunity to actually join the existing team and add a little bit of value as researchers and getting the possibility to co-invest in some of the projects. That's how it all started.
Okay, and now let's talk about the founding of Entity. Why did you come up with this idea and why this blockchain? I mean, we already have the Lucian thing, but was there any other reasons you chose this blockchain?
Well, first of all, after our private investments in the first years, we made quite some money, I have to admit, and we had the opportunity to become a staking provider on Multiverse X. So that's what Iver's Vision is doing. our other company. And with all the rewards we receive from the Multiverse X protocol since day one, we are actually reinvesting in the whole ecosystem. And that's how we built Entity. And we have changed a lot of things with an Entity in the last 2 years, but until today, I think it's 2.5 years now since we started the project, everything is self-funded. So self-funded meaning with staking rewards from Iver's Vision.
Okay, why deciding to launch a launchpad? I mean, at that time there were only the Maya launchpad, but why did you decide to launch your own launchpad? Why? What did you want to solve that maybe other launchpad did not bring?
Well, as I said before, I was always doing business development. So from day one, I've tried to bring more and more projects to Multiverse X and to grow the ecosystem. So the first project that was on the Maya Launchpad came through our channel, let's say, with Holoride and Audi back then. Same applies to AshSwap. We've also worked very closely with Hatom. So most of the projects that are launched by Elrond, Maya Launchpad, now X Launchpad, Multiverse X, came through us, or we are somehow connected to them. We are either invested in them or we incubate them from the Iver's Vision side. But we have realized that the X Launchpad and the team of Multiverse X, they do not have enough resources to launch more and more projects. They also had a tweet about it. I think it was before Christmas last year, a couple months ago, that they are planning to launch only 4 projects a year, so 1 project per quarter, because it takes a lot of time to hype up the community, to educate the community, to also bring the project to the level of being launched. So that's quite an effort. And we always said we need more launchpads. So we started back then by building it, and also others build launchpads, and that helps the projects a lot, I guess. So we definitely need to push more on this front.
Okay, but you said that the Multiverse X core team did not have time enough to launch more product, but at the same time on Entity, you, as far as I know, you only launched 1 project, which is Knights of Catena. So can you explain?
Yeah. The thing is, Multiverse X has amazing technology. We are all aware of that. I think they are far ahead in the market with what they've built in the last couple of years. But nothing is perfect. So we've seen this also in other ecosystems, and we try to put these different puzzle pieces together and make the best out of it. And that's why we have, let's say, proven last year that we are able to launch a project in a fully regulated manner out of Liechtenstein, MiCA compliant and everything. And since we are also invested in Knights of Catena, it was a no-brainer for us to launch them. They had to go on mainnet, and you can see on the Explorer of Multiverse X that they are one of the most active projects there in terms of transactions, NFTs, etc., etc. You can see the traction there easily. And they need to be there to actually earn money and survive. But the demand is way bigger, so we need to launch more projects, and I think we have a couple in the pipeline. But back then, 2022, 2023 was a tough bear market for everyone. So first of all, kudos to everyone that is still here and survived. Same accounts for us. It was not an easy time. And we decided to, be heads down working on a new version of Entity. So we have improved a lot of stuff on the Launchpad side, made some more
Yeah,
integrations.
we'll speak about it. And
And
yeah, because after the Knights of Catena launchpad, what's your feedback and how you will use it for future launchpad? That's I think a question that the community is asking after the, I don't know if we can say a success or a fail for the Knights of Catena Launchpad, because you raised, I think, around $60,000, as far as I know. Of course, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, what's your feedback about this? What was good? What was maybe not that good? And how you will use it for future Launchpads?
Well, as a launchpad, you are actually a technology provider. So you provide the platform for the project, for them being able to have a simple process and go to market for the token generation event. That's more or less it. Everything else are additional services. Yeah, we have learned, of course, that there is a reason for Multiverse X to only do one per quarter, because it takes a huge effort to educate the community and make the community aware of the project and what they are actually doing.
So you mean you underestimated the effort of launching a project?
No, it has nothing to do with underestimation. It has to do with the community that is there in the ecosystem or not. So I think we have not created enough demand for the project. We have not created enough interest, and not enough people were backing the project. So I think it was a combination of many things.
When you say backing,
Why?
can you explain so everybody can understand what do you mean by not enough people, or maybe institutions, or VCs or investors, or so on, backing the project? What do you mean?
Well, it applies to every project that is in conversations with us or is currently building. Backing means you need to have, first of all, the foundation that is supporting you as a project, if it's large enough. And for an investor, for a VC, for strategic investors or business angels, they all have a kind of investment thesis. And you as a project, you as a team, you have to fit. And if you do not have the money, if you're not able to raise funds, then it's getting difficult, because you need to have marketing, you need to make advertisements, you need to educate the community about your project. And if there's no money in your pocket, you cannot spend it. And without doing that, nobody will be aware of your project. And that actually means you can launch, but it will be quite silent.
Interesting. Okay, thank you, Wolfgang. Go ahead, Joachim. You have a question.
Yeah, because this is a very interesting topic, because Catena or Knights of Catena have been around for a while. They're true builders. There's no doubt. We have one of their I don't know if CEO, CTO, who's like always in the validator chat and the developers chat, and even the numbers, if I'm not wrong, on the daily active players, etc., were quite high. So would you say there was a realization also that maybe like we have a difference between, as you say, like the community who's willing to pay and invest in a project and a game, and the ones who just want to enjoy it? And
I can't hear you. Is it me or is it Joachim?
I can
Wolfgang, is there a problem? You can't
yeah, he
listen,
can't hear me.
Joachim?
So I'll leave and come back.
I didn't hear anything. I'm sorry.
Oh, so disconnect and reconnect. I will send you a private message. It happens sometimes. X is ragging. Sorry, guys, for this. Feel free in the meantime to put a comment, to like, and to repost this Twitter Spaces, so we can bring more people with us. Joachim, I think it was okay for you, so
well,
I can
to be
hear
on the
you.
safe side, I left too.
Okay, so Wolfgang, try again.
Can you please repeat, Joachim? I didn't hear your question. Sorry.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Great. So what I was saying is that like Nice Katina have been true builders since the early days of Elrond, and as I was saying, their CEO, I think his CEO is on the dev chats like every day, etc. And like, I'm honestly so appreciative that we have such builders on MVX. But would you say, because from what I remember, even to the beta phases of the game, they had quite a lot of daily active users. Would you say that one of the challenges was, as you said, like the community that was willing to invest and the daily active players who maybe weren't open to taking that step was a difference that maybe came a bit as a surprise?
Well, I don't think so. I think the biggest problem was that only Multiverse X and Iverse Vision were supporting the project with money, at least. As a project, as a startup, you should never forget 9 out of 10 at least fail. And this project is still alive, and they launched in the worst time possible. So it's a combination of many things. If we would have been better in acquiring more strategic investors or KOLs supporting the project, talking about it, or maybe having a better advertisements to get more daily active users, of course, that is something you could have done, but it all costs money at the end of the day, and if you don't have it in your pocket, you can't spend it. So on the other hand, if we wouldn't have launched them and they would not be on the mainnet, they would have no revenue at all, and that's what keeps them alive and gives them traction. So there was no other possibility than just launching them at the end of the day, and they still have very good conversations. They have an accelerator here from Germany. They've been to Silicon Valley in March. They had very good conversations there. They had another investment recently. So things are going okay, I think.
And another thing I think we can pinpoint compared to quite a lot of startups, as you say, as the majority fail and even more in Web3, Knights of Katina were ready to launch when they did the launchpad. Um, as we say, we were playing it on the DevNet and it launched on the mainnet. Like I want to say a month after, or like in a very short time after the sale, which is something that I feel like we've been, how to put it, we've been lucky in a way on MVX that we have had so many projects that raise money towards the public so close to launch when we've seen a lot of like pipe dreams during the ICO craze, etc., where they say, yeah, we'll launch the product someday.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's for any investor a red flag if a project just has a light paper or a white paper, but there is no MVP, there is no prototype, there is nothing. So I fully agree. They were ready and they had to be launched. Definitely. There was no other choice. I would love to have more projects like them with a ready product going to market, actually. We need more of that.
We wonder whether investors prefer project just on the paper than project that are already live, because they estimate the return on investment bigger when there is everything to do left than a project that is already ready to be launched. That's an interesting question for a launchpad. What do you think about it, Wolfgang?
Well, unfortunately, I have to tell you that's my experience from the last couple of weeks and months, and that is the feedback I've received in Dubai from many different persons. I think currently VCs are not really interested in products. They are interested in token metrics because of the market cycle, meaning they want to have quick money. They want to flip on projects, and that is bearing a lot of risk for the projects. Projects have to be careful when deciding with which investor they will go hand in hand. It's a huge risk because they will definitely demand tokens at TGE and they will dump on the retail.
Oh, okay. Maxim lost the mic, but he had a question. Of course, Wolfgang, you understand that we want to speak about the previous entity to speak even better about the new entity, of course. I wanted to ask you, Wolfgang, about your vision about Multiversex because you've been here for years now, so you saw the evolution, you saw the critics about Multiversex marketing, the delay on the roadmap, about the communication, about the lack of adoption. All of this, you of course you follow all of this. I would like to have your opinion about this. Are you still bullish? Do you have any doubt? And so on. That I think your opinion is very relevant about this, and I hope you can tell it unfiltered, if you see what I mean.
I'm always unfiltered.
I love it. Me too.
Very good, very good. Now, first of all, I am bullish on Multiversex because I know they deliver and they are extremely hard workers. So they've built an amazing team. I'm not saying things are perfect. That nowhere. Like I'm doing research since 8 years. Our team is doing research a lot on projects. Nothing is perfect. The grass is not greener on the other side. Yeah, but I think we have a new approach. We have to always keep in mind the market conditions, meaning right now it's difficult with VCs, with KOLs. Even if we are at the beginning of a bull run, Multiversex delivered, and their time has probably not come yet, but it will, for sure. They've been in the top 25. They will be there again for sure. It's an infinite game, and we have to play it. But we all have, and that accounts for every startup, for every entrepreneur. We have our own vision of our journey, of our product, with our team, and sometimes things cannot be aligned 100%, meaning we want to do something that maybe does not work here in this ecosystem, but it's in our interest. We are on this mission. We have this vision of building this product, for example, but maybe it does not work here. So let's say we are coming from Multiversex. Multiversex has great technology. They are focused on payments, on DeFi, let's say. They also have lots of stuff for gaming, but there are other ecosystems like different Cosmos chains, for example, that also have advantages. For example, lots of liquidity. But what we have seen, and that's what made us make this move, is actually that within the different Cosmos ecosystems, there is a lot of liquidity, which is inefficient capital, and we could use it. Yeah, use it as collateral or for whatever other protocol that is in need of it. So there are many opportunities, and that's why we have changed our journey of entity, because we say multi-chain is dead, cross-chain is the future. And that simply means it's about the user experience. We want to have a good user experience, meaning the user should actually not even know on which chain he currently interacts, because he should not hop from application to application. He should simply be on his journey and move his funds around as he needs it. But when you log in with your Kepler wallet and then you connect to a platform XYZ, and from there you swap it, and then you go through another bridge and you move it there just to join the launchpad, etc. It's super difficult, and this will definitely not drive adoption. So we thought we are going to change this. We will integrate many, many more chains and have a cross-chain platform that seamlessly integrates different ecosystems. And then we have access to all the users, but also access to the whole liquidity of these different ecosystems. And we can leverage it because we can support the projects building on top of it. That's our approach.
Okay, sounds very good. Thank you, Wolfgang, for your opinion. You're so bullish, optimistic about Multiversix ecosystem. So we are, of course, about the tech and so on. What would be for you the best advice about attracting?
Best advice for a builder, you mean?
No, best advice to attract developers and projects because
Can
what
you
we
hear me?
Oh, okay, Wolfgang, we have a problem with
Yeah.
you. So
It seems like you can't hear GRM, Wolfgang.
He just asked about the advice, and I've a question for if it's an advice for a builder or what he means.
no, it's okay. Joachim, can you
I can hear
ask
you now. I
him
can hear you
to?
now. Now it
Oh,
works.
okay,
Sorry.
sounds good. So Wolfgang, my question is about which would be the best advice for Multiversix core team, how to attract projects on the ecosystem, because I can see, and I regret it, that for 1 year, maybe we don't welcome enough projects. And I think these projects are attracting users. So we need to attract projects, developers, and they will attract users because the project is useful, attractive, and so on. Wolfgang, I can't hear you.
Neither can I.
Joachim, can you hear Wolfgang?
No.
Okay. So let's send him a DM again.
But I'll chat in the meantime. I really like personally that idea of an interaction across chains, as you say, like without the user realizing, because I feel like we've had two options until now. We've kind of had like the very like centralized exchange solutions where like you can buy tokens and you don't need to think about which chain those tokens actually are from, etc. And then we've had dexes, and on dexes we've had to, as Wolfgang was saying, pass from one chain to the other, etc. But I also have the feeling that is a bit what MVX seems to be focusing on with a solution such as the wallet Exporto, because we're seeing that they're integrating more and more wallets. We're still waiting to actually be able to interact with those other chains and MVX. But I'm speculating personally that they are kind of building this playground to protect the users against challenges that can be found on EVMs, like the possibility to be drained, etc. So very guarded in a way, garden, where we'll be able to interact with other chains, let's say Ethereum, BSC, Solana, etc. From Exporto, and having, as we can see already with the swap, the possibility to go from one chain to the other with very low fees and in a matter of seconds, instead of having to Google for which bridge to use to go from one chain to the other, etc. And that was one of the challenges of Multiverse X for quite a while, is that to bridge tokens to MVX was quite hard. Which now obviously with the swap function is not really a bridge, but it gives the same functionalities. One could even say it's safer because it passes through X money. Maxim, if you're still in the audience, come back up as a speaker.
Yeah, Maxim, he thinks he is a speaker on his X interface, but actually he's not. So please, Maxim, please disconnect and reconnect. I'm sorry, guys, because X is rugging us this morning. I hope Wolfgang will be able to come back. so we can continue this really interesting interview. And in the meantime, guys, let's have a break for 2 or 3 minutes to have a coffee. I need one coffee. Do you, Joachim?
Very tempting, very tempting.
Okay, so let's have a break for 1 or 2 minutes, waiting for Wolfgang to come back, and I will have a coffee in the meantime.
Yeah, guys, I don't know if you hear me, but I
Yes,
think
you're back.
I really agree with what Joachim mentioned. I mean, the future is really about chain abstraction, and I think this is what Wolfgang also is doing, and I think it's great. So we need to see more gas abstraction, wallet abstraction, and chain abstractions. And if we go there, definitely we will have more adoption, and it will be benefit not only for one chain but for other chains.
And even more than that, the example, because we were talking about Knights of Katina since they were the launchpad of Entity, they've actually been doing account abstraction since the early days. So when you play the game, there's plenty of transactions going on in the background that are actually sponsored by them. That does that most, if not the integrality of the game, is on chain, which is honestly quite a feat to achieve. So and that would be very cumbersome if you had to sign the transaction at each time, and they decided from the get-go that they would manage it for the user. So I think we're getting there, but as Jerome was saying, I'm not sure if Wolfgang is back. We're missing builders on MVX, and what should we do? What is needed to bring more builders and therefore more users?
And someone on the before Wolfgang, of course, can answer. We have someone in the comment section that wrote about the different hackathons that Multiversix is and did organized before. And yeah, I think it's a good way to attract builders. But yeah, Wolfgang, what do you think about this?
Absolutely. Hackathon are a great chance for builders to show their approaches, their solutions, their products. We've supported one at X-Day in Bucharest as well. And it gives us the opportunity as a launchpad to have a closer look at the teams and what they are actually building. And that's why we all have to support hackathons. We have to support builders because we need more of them in the ecosystem. And it's not only attracting builders from other chains. Of course, we have to sometimes fill the gaps. Yeah, sometimes it's maybe even easy to do a fork or a copy of another project and just bring it over. But yeah, not always reinvent the wheel. Yeah, work smart, not hard, but do anything that helps adoption and brings more builders to the ecosystem for sure. And sorry for the interruption, guys. I didn't hear the speakers anymore. I hope it works now.
Yeah, it's perfect. Thank you. No worry, it's not about you. So let's speak about the new entity and especially the cross-chain aspect, because now you introduce entity as a cross-chain launchpad. Can you tell us more about this? How will it be cross-chain? Why you decided to be cross-chain? And yeah, I have other questions, but I will wait after.
Okay. Well, we've seen that the hurdles of Web3 are, first of all, fragmented liquidity. And there we're talking about the different ecosystems because the user sometimes does not care. Yeah? Am I on Ethereum or on Multiverse X or any other chain? But they face the facts that there is fragmented liquidity. And then it results in poor user experience. And when we talk about bridges, probably also security risks. And when trading between different ecosystems, then probably also lack of efficiency. So these are the four major obstacles that we have recognized, and that's why we have changed Entity to a cross-chain platform. And our approach is to integrate the different ecosystems to have a good user experience. And it's not only the launchpad, it's actually a bridge aggregator and also a cross-chain swap. So every project that is going to be launched on Entity in the future will be able to have their token on different chains. And through the bridge aggregator, they also have we also have a pathfinder, so best bridging experience there as well. We have an adaptive dual score security system in place, and it also includes a built-in arbitrage protocol. And for our cross-chain swap, of course, best rates. Currently, we have the Ash Swap aggregator that works really well. We're talking about MEV protection for enhanced efficiency, and we will also support single-sided liquidity that you probably have seen on one or the other decks already. So that's our approach.
So it will be between a DeFi protocol and a launchpad.
Yeah, the idea is that we are starting this now. The launchpad perfectly fits to us as an incubator. So we first of all incubate projects on the Iverse Vision side. We help them to get to the next level. Once they are there, we can launch them. We try to help them in all aspects: advisory, legal, token metrics, marketing, everything a project needs. That's the service part. But at the end of the day, service is always difficult. So we think everything that we are building now for Entity will, at the end of the day, move into a DAO with governance and everything. So the whole part of bridge aggregator, cross-chain swap, and we also plan an additional module that will go live in 2025, and there we talk about derivatives. This will be all handed over into a DAO. We will be completely out, and the community will take over the project. And we are trying this now a little bit also with the Entity Meme Coin Fund. So the community is able to vote on the meme coin. We will buy it from our staking rewards. That's a first step towards getting the community involved. And later on, as you've probably seen on the Agora already of Multiverse X, the community will be able to decide on things, how the whole platform will be developed in the future and where we are going to move it together as a community.
Okay, I think it was 1 or 2 weeks before we received the CEO of Bull Perks. Joachim, you were there. I think I was not there, but I listened to the replay. Do you know Bull Perks, Wolfgang?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so Joachim, because you were there during this interview, maybe you have a question for Wolfgang, maybe to compare the visions of their CEO and him.
So yeah, we had the pleasure of having the CEO of Bullperks, yeah, as I say, like a couple of weeks back, and it was very interesting to see Bullperks already has been on several chains, and they even launched a project, well, a part of the project, because they did the rest of the launch on the Black Hat network. But they announced recently a bigger focus, and we even had the blog post through MVX on Multiverse X. Do you see other launch pads and kind of incubators, as he described it, as competition, or rather like a possibility to help each other making project grow?
It's definitely an opportunity. Yeah, I'm happy to see more and more launch pads coming in. It's also a very good approach recently to use 2-3 launch pads at the same time to have a co-launch. A lot of launch pads outside of Multiverse X are doing that already, and I think they are very successful with it. And as I said before, we have to grow the pie. Yeah, there should be always enough for everyone, but it's on us to do that. It's not a competition. I'm not mad at another launchpad if they take away one of our projects. They probably just made a better deal. So competition is always good. It helps us to improve.
Thank you, and good vibes, good mantra about this. What do you think about airdrop and engagement farming? Because this last month, the narrative is not about Launchpad. It's about social engagement, airdrop farming, and this is the way that project make them known to the community. Are the launchpads still on the trend? And what's your opinion about airdrop farming? Do you plan to integrate such feature for your upcoming projects?
Well, I think these things can go hand in hand. We have a few things in the pipeline because other ecosystems, for example, they completely work without launchpads. Projects launching there, they only have strategic investors, VCs on board, and for the community, they simply do an airdrop. Others are having campaigns, like we are starting one tomorrow, Entity Space Race, and our approach is, of course, to reward the community. So um, it's always a yin and yang, yeah, positive and negative. A project needs money, so it needs an investor. But on the other hand, the investor could be a risk for the community to dump on them. Yeah, so there is always a pro and con on these things. Same for the community, but you need a lot of community and you need to engage with them. That's why you need to have campaigns. In my opinion, and that's our approach, with the Launchpad, this is the way to go, to combine airdrops, airdrop hunting, engagement campaigns, and all these different things. There are so many possibilities to get key opinion leaders, influencers involved in the projects, to have ambassadors for the projects. And if they can earn some money with it, join spaces, write threads, make videos, educate the community. That's what projects need. That's what projects cannot do on their own because they lack the resources, but they can offer something. They can work out deals on token allocations, whatever it is. But we have to work together and we have to support the builders and the projects to reach these goals. The community is always the key.
Okay, so I saw that you decided to launch a token, correct?
We have some things planned, correct?
Okay, can you because I don't know if I don't know if you already announced it, but yeah, can you tell us more about the business model? Because many launchpads have their own token to empower the ecosystem, to reward the users, to create some loyalty program for users. The more you participate in the launchpad, the more you gain token, or the more token you have, the best round you can participate in, and so on. So what's your vision about this? Because you did not have any digital assets so far, and now seems like you decided to launch a token.
Yeah, that's correct. So first of all, a token always needs to have a proper utility. A DAO is one thing. Using a token, for example, to have reduced fees when using applications is another thing, but also voting power. Our approach is a bit different, and yes, we need a token for it, and we also want to have the community involved. As I said, our idea is to build a platform for projects to be able to launch within different ecosystems, to be connected to exchanges immediately, and to have access to liquidity. I think that's what all the projects need, first of all. But that is more tech side. On the other side, we have the community and also the retail investor, the token holders. So what we are trying to offer the projects is a bit different. Maybe you have seen this in other ecosystems. We are also not reinventing the wheel, but we have seen that different campaigns where you have community goals to, for example, unlock an additional airdrop are very, very useful and work out very, very well if you're in the right setup, meaning you need to have a good combination of influencers, key opinion leaders, and ambassadors that are helping you spread the word about the project. And of course, they will get rewarded for it on top. We have also worked on an affiliate program, meaning if you bring us projects to Entity and we will launch them successfully, you will get rewarded for it as well. Plus, for the different campaigns, simple things like awards, prizes, engagements, airdrops, collecting points and experience while being educated on the product or project. And this is what we are going to offer all the projects we are going to launch as well, meaning everything we are building now for our own launch of Entity, we will offer all the projects launching on Entity as well. And we believe that's exactly what a project needs, not only liquidity, technology, protocol, the base stuff that is needed, but also access to a database of, or to a network of KOLs and influencers, as well as VCs and business angels that will help you lift up the whole project. Because the project, the builders should focus on their product and deliver a prototype as soon as possible. And then we can take care of the rest and be in a common journey and launch successful.
Okay, and why a token and not an NFT collection, for example?
Why not both?
Ah, interesting. It's alpha time. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, Maxime. You know, I don't know what question you will ask, but I have one for you. You, Maxime, are cross-chain oriented, and maybe you know other launchpad on other ecosystems. So regarding this aspect, do you have maybe a question or maybe an advice or something that you saw from existing and launchpad on other ecosystem?
Yeah, definitely. I have a question here for you, Wolfgang. The thing is, we saw that in the past few weeks and months, we saw a trend for fair launch and for also stuff like LBP, so liquidity bootstrapping pool, like Fjord, and so others system basically to launch a token that can be combined with a launchpad or without a launchpad. How do you see this? Do you have those kind of stuff also on with Elrond and this ecosystem that I don't really know much? Yeah, really interesting about this.
This is the perfect question I was expecting from you, Maxime. Go ahead, Wolfgang.
Very good question. Thanks, Maxime. Yes, I can agree. We have seen these trends as well, and we are trying to adapt our approach a little bit, but we always have to keep in mind where we are coming from and where we are heading to. So things that maybe work on Ethereum or any L2 probably does not work within Cosmos or Multiverse X. So we are doing things step by step, and we can only leverage things that are already existing. I think in Multiverse X, we have an amazing community, very vibrant, super supportive. That's what we definitely can leverage for any project building here. On the other hand, if you look at DeFi and the liquidity that we have, I think that's something we have to improve. So there are not too many platforms yet in the DeFi space. We need more, and we need to attract more liquidity. And that's what we are trying with our first step towards Cosmos. We see a lot of liquidity there, inefficient capital, and that's why we try to bridge the gap between Multiverse X and Cosmos as a first step before we go towards EVM with Arbitrum as a first step. But yeah, we can learn a lot from others. Yes, not everything works for us, but we have to cherry pick a little bit. And that's what I advise everyone to do. cherry pick exactly the things you think you need to be successful. Probably not everything works. Try. Only trial and error works, because if you're only successful, you will never learn. You only learn from your mistakes, and nobody's perfect. And that's why a lot of us are still here today. We can all learn from each other, and there is enough space for all of us. So happy to learn more. We are always researching. Thanks a lot for the great question. I'll definitely have another look on that.
And I have a last one for you. Well, first of all, I really like your vision. I think it's great, and I really align on this. And the thing is, quick question on the Launchpad part. I mean, you're really close with the Elrond ecosystem, and so the thing is,
Bro, guy. Elrond is over. It's Multiverse 6 for
yeah.
1 year and a half now.
Sorry,
You will not make
Multiverse.
friends here if you don't even know the name of the ecosystem.
Yeah, it's because I know the token
The
better than
token
the
is not even
ecosystem.
Elrond. It's EGLD.
Oh yeah, sure.
Electronic Gold.
Yeah, I have no. Okay, I cannot say anything here. Just well, anyway. So
Go ahead, bro.
so yeah, so you're really close with the Multiverse X ecosystem. There's a project. Is it mandatory for a project that is going on your Launchpad to build on Multiverse X in addition of another ecosystem, or not really? I mean, for example, if I am building only on Cosmos or Ethereum, can I come and go on your Launchpad, or do I need at some point to also go and build on Multiverse X?
We are welcoming every builder, and we are not limiting anyone. Full stop.
Okay, sounds good. And how did the core team react when they saw that you decided to turn into a cross-chain um, um, launchpad? Because even when we decided to rebrand from GM to GM Web3, some people from the community, but also from the core team, sends us a message saying, "Oh, bro, you're leaving." And I said, "No, I'm not. Just rebranding, because cross-chain is the key. And in cross-chain, there are many chains, including Multiversix, which is, of course, our core blockchain, because we are on it for years now, and the community is from there, and most of the speakers are from there. And so I needed to reassure them. So did you have to reassure them about your orientation, or they yeah, that's my question.
It's a good question. Yes, definitely. I think we always have our communications channel open. That's mandatory. I think we have a very high level of trust, and they never believed we are leaving, and we aren't, of course. What I tried to explain before, and I think we had the hiccup back then with my connection. I'm sorry for that. We are trying to we're trying to cherry pick from the different ecosystems, meaning there is inefficient capital in Cosmos. Why don't we leverage it on Multiverse X? There is a huge NFT community on Solana, let's say. Why don't we bring them over or combine it within one platform? Why don't we simply connect the different worlds? We are not leaving Multiverse X. That's our home base. We are a large staking provider here. We are incubating projects here. We definitely don't leave. And everything we have built so far is on Multiverse X. Everything else is on top. Cosmos, anything there, like Archway, for example, or Arbitrum, EVM based. That's on top. Yeah, we can't build it within a day. Nothing is ready by tomorrow, I can promise you. We have a roadmap for it, but we will build things step by step. And with all the partners we are working with all the ecosystems we are partnering, we are trying to add value to anyone that is involved. So we try to still add value to Multiverse X. So are we trying to add value to the Cosmos chain we are launching and building our products there. we are trying to add. That's always the best thing you can do.
Okay, thank you. Let's speak about the future of and some dates, please. So you will launch the token. That's the first question. When will you issue it? Or if you can tell us, maybe not the date, the precise date, but maybe a quarter or something. And when will be the next project you will launch? Are you already in contact with interested projects? Where are you now? Because since Night of Cathena, you just made this partnership with Bober. At least this is the only thing I saw from you guys. So where are you now?
Well, many things happened. In the meantime, we have some good partnerships within the Cosmos ecosystem that help us prepare our products. And so technical collaborations, our development roadmap will be published very soon. We are currently reaching out to partner up with more KOLs because we want to educate the community and let them know about what we're doing. Yeah, that also means we have to work a little bit on our business plan and get some strategic investors on board. That's the current plan. We will be at Consensus in Austin end of May. We've been to Token 2049 in Dubai, had great conversations there. And in June, we will be at the Crypto Valley conference in Switzerland. So these are some of the highlights. Another Launchpad project is planned for June. An interesting DeFi project. And our own token generation event, our own launch. I can't say launch because the Launchpad is live. Our token generation event is probably Q3 or Q4, depending on the resources. Yeah, because we are also limited. We just hired a few more developers to get all the modules ready in time. But yeah, at the end of the day, we have our deadline, we have our roadmap, and we want to keep those deadlines. But I don't want to give you an exact date because at the end of the day, you will tell me, but you said, and now you did not. So yeah, we will
I
try.
never speak like that. I'm sorry. I never speak like that.
No,
Even
we
after a
never
few
give
drinks.
dates.
No,
Same.
but you answered the question, and thank you for this. How do you found yourself? I mean, you started the entity journey 2 years ago, and you did not generate any revenue so far, except maybe from the Night of Catena Launchpad, and I'm not sure it was a big amount of money. So you raised funds at the beginning, or you're just self founding? Because yeah, it's a long journey with just one project launched, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we did not raise any funds so far. Everything that happened in the last 2.5 years for Entity was self-funded. So only revenues we had from Ivor's Vision as a staking provider and recent
Okay.
investments
Yeah,
from the
because
last
it's a entity is part of a big ecosystem, and I think people just know entity, but behind and aside, you will also have other entities, we can say, with no joke.
Correct. Correct.
But yeah, this is interesting to know that the ecosystem is big. This is not just a launchpad, but an incubator and a staking provider, and yeah, maybe other things. Okay. Thank you very much for your answers, Wolfgang. Joachim and Maxim, do you have more questions for Wolfgang before we get him free?
I have a final question. I want to ask you at the start, but didn't get the time. It was about staking before. As we've seen, we even discussed it because Mihai from Trust Staking did a tweet about it. The V4 expects validators to bring more to the ecosystem than simply validating because of the top-up strategy. Is that something that you believe is positive, or should just validators be validators? What are your opinions on that?
Well, it always depends where you're coming from and what's your approach as a staking provider. If you are driving, if your business approach is to always have the same APR for your delegators, then of course you need to be limited. We decided very early to go unlimited with Ivor's vision, and we've reduced our fees as well for liquid staking with Hatom. I think that was a very good approach with Hatom in combination as well. For those that joined us, I think they were able to attract more e-gold staked at the end of the day. So the more the better in this case. So, but I'm not mad at anyone if they set a cap because they want to guarantee a high APR. It's fine both ways, but we need to have a good mix. I'm looking forward to V4, definitely. More opportunities for newcomers.
Yeah, because like we could say that that cap is nearly forced to disappear, right? You won't be able to guarantee high APRs by having a low cap, because if you have a low cap, then you're not going to get selected.
Yeah, there is a cap of maximum nodes for new validators. And of course, if you don't have enough top up, then you will lose the nodes again. And that applies also to the existing ones. So if we lose stake, we lose nodes and we will never be able to get them back. So that's a huge risk for us as well.
But yet you believe it's a great thing for Multiverse X because it entices validators to add value in addition to the regular APRs that will kind of be streamlined now across validators.
Well, yes, I know it will cost me money. It will reduce my revenue, but yes, it's positive for the ecosystem.
And you're
That's what we
launching a
like to hear.
token. You're launching a token, so you will be able to leverage. No?
I think these are two different things.
Really? Both will
Yeah.
not be related?
No, because it's a different entity that is launching the token. Two different companies.
You will not like link the staking providing service and the token? Never in any way?
Can't confirm nor deny what's in the future. If there's a good business case for it, maybe yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So far, we have not integrated anything.
Okay.
The
Maxim.
ENT token will be for entity, and Iverse is a separate staking provider. That's the current state.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Maxim, do you have a last question for Wolfgang?
For me, it's all good. I'm looking forward to see the launch of the token, which is definitely interesting because I mean that's a main difference between Web 2 and Web 3 is a token, and this play a huge role in terms of the revenue model of the company. So definitely looking forward to this, and that was very clear from Wolfgang. So all good.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Maxim.
much.
Well, Wolfgang, it was your first on GM Web3. It was more like an AMA than an interview, but we like both. I hope you enjoyed, and you are very and always welcome here. You can come as a listener, you can come as a speaker if the future topic interests you. And yeah, it was a pleasure to have you. I let you the final word before we close this Twitter space.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be here. My team is always listening. I can see a few familiar faces here, and great stuff you're doing here. education is very important for the community, bringing the builders together and giving them a stage. Keep up the great work. Kudos to you, the team, the followers, and yeah, share it, like it, retweet it. We need more people like you. Thank you very much.
Wolfgang. You will come to GM Web3 for the launch of the token by the end of the year.
If you invite me, I'll be there.
Okay, it's a deal. So everybody, thank you very much for being present this day. I know this week is a special week in Romania because it's like Easter holiday or something. So yeah, good holiday to everybody. Of course, you can listen to this Twitter space in replay on all podcast platform, on our YouTube channel, but also on Seaborg. If you want some codes to try Seaborg, feel free to send a DM to Maxim or to me. And yeah, see you next Wednesday for a new GM Web3. Have a very, very good day. And yeah, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.